Hello and welcome. I'm your host, and I'm here to guide you into a peaceful night's rest. Let me read you a bedtime story. It's going to help you unwind and drift off into dreamland. So, find a comfortable spot, take a deep breath, and let the soothing words carry you away. It's time to relax and embrace the calm. Let's begin. This is the story of a cozy cabin retreat. As she stepped off the winding forest path, the rustic cabin came into view. Tucked away between the towering pine trees, the cabin's wooden beams had weathered over time, giving them a warm golden brown glow. A thin stream of smoke curled lazily from the stone chimney, filling the crisp air with the comforting scent of burning wood and the quiet promise of a restful escape. The door creaked as she pushed it open, revealing the inviting, cozy interior. Inside, soft throw blankets and pillows in earthy shades of green, brown, and beige were scattered around, calling out for her to relax and unwind. The fire in the stone hearth crackled softly, casting a golden glow across the room, its warmth wrapping around her like a soft blanket. She breathed deeply, the smell of pine and the faint hint of cinnamon filling her lungs, and for the first time in weeks, the tension in her shoulders started to melt away. She sank into the plush armchair by the fire, cradling a steaming mug of tea in her hands. Outside, the wind rustled through the trees, making the leaves dance in the fading afternoon light. The gentle crackling of the fire was hypnotic, and she closed her eyes, letting the warmth seep into her bones. Everything outside the noise, the worries, the deadlines began to fade. Here, it was just her. The peacefulness of the forest and the stillness of the cabin. As she sat there, the warmth of the tea in her hands and the soft glow of the fire on her face, she felt herself slowly unwind. She sipped her tea, the world outside slipping further away with nature, and the peace she had long been searching for. After a while, she stood and wandered around the small, charming cabin. The kitchen was compact, but cozy. It had wooden countertops and jars filled with dried herbs and spices. The smell of freshly baked cookies filled the air, and she couldn't resist sampling one, its sweetness melting on her tongue. In the corner of the living room, a small bookshelf was packed with the well-loved books, their spines worn from being read and reread. She ran her fingers along the titles: adventure stories, cozy mysteries, tales of faraway places, and made a mental note to pick one for later. Upstairs, a wooden ladder led to a small loft, where a bed covered in thick blankets and soft pillows sat waiting. She climbed the ladder, feeling like a child sneaking into a secret hideaway. The window next to the bed framed a perfect view of the forest outside. The treetops swaying gently in the breeze, while the golden sunlight filtered through the branches. She stood there for a moment, simply taking in the beauty of the scene. As dusk began to settle over the forest, she returned to the armchair by the fire. The room was bathed in the warm glow of the flames, their light dancing across the walls. She gazed into the fire, her thoughts drifting back over the past weeks and months. Memories surfaced of loved ones, of laughter and joy, of challenges overcome. As the cabin's quiet settled around her, she found herself reflecting on the things that had once troubled her. Here in the stillness, those worries felt smaller, distant, and easier to understand. The peacefulness of the cabin brought her clarity, and with it, a sense of calm that had eluded her for so long. She realized that it wasn't in the hustle and the bustle of life where she found her strength, but in these quiet moments of reflection. Life's beauty, she understood now, was in its simplicity. The quiet hum of the forest, the warmth of the fire, the comfort of being still. As the sky outside deepened into a night, she climbed into the loft bed, wrapping herself in the thick blankets. Through the window, she could see stars twinkling in the dark sky, their soft light like tiny beacons of hope. The fire below was now just glowing embers, but the warmth of the cabin lingered, wrapping her in its quiet embrace. Lying there, the world felt far away, her mind quiet and at peace. The soft chirping of crickets outside lulled her closer to sleep. Her heart, once weighed down by the busyness of life, now beat slowly and calmly. She closed her eyes, letting go of the last bit of tension, and drifted off to sleep with a sense of deep peace she hadn't known in a long time. The fire's embers faded into the night, but the peace remained like a gentle flame, glowing quietly within her. In this cozy cabin retreat, she had found more than just rest. She had found a piece of herself she didn't know she had lost.